Ladies and gentlemen, we spend so much of our lives waiting for the perfect circumstances, waiting for the ideal conditions, waiting for that one moment when everything falls into place. We convince ourselves that we need to be completely ready before we take action, that the timing has to be flawless, that every element of our life has to align perfectly. And while waiting can feel safe, it is often the thief of our dreams. Life does not wait for anyone. The perfect moment rarely arrives on its own, and if we keep waiting for it, we risk missing out on the opportunities that exist right now. The truth is, the right time is not something that happens to us, something we create through our actions, through our courage, and through our determination to move forward regardless of circumstances. Taking the first step is always the hardest. There is fear, uncertainty, and self-doubt that tries to hold us back. But it is precisely in those moments of discomfort that growth begins. Action, even when it feels uncomfortable or imperfect, sets the wheels of progress in motion. You cannot wait for life to hand you the perfect scenario. Have to step into the arena and start shaping it for yourself. Every journey worth taking begins with a decision to move, to act, embrace the unknown. Waiting may seem easier in the short term, but it keeps your potential locked away. Acting, even imperfectly, teaches you lessons, builds resilience, and opens doors you didn't know existed. Consider every story of success you admire. Those achievements were rarely the result of perfect timing. They were the result of someone saying yes to opportunity when it presented itself, taking risks when it seemed scary, and starting before they felt entirely ready. By choosing to act rather than wait, they created their own momentum. Understood that the right time is not a gift, it is a product of effort, courage, and determination. Waiting for the deal moment is an illusion, often fear dressed up as patience. Real progress happens when you decide that your dreams are worth taking action for today, not tomorrow. It is essential to realize that action, no matter how small, carries more power than inaction. Each step forward builds confidence, possibilities, and brings clarity. Waiting may give you comfort temporarily, but action gives you results, growth, and experience. Your life will never wait for the perfect conditions, so why should you? The power to start, to change, to grow, to succeed lies in your hands right now. The choice to wait is just that, a choice, but so is the choice to act. And when you act, begin to create your right time, your moment, and ultimately, your destiny. Empowerment comes not from waiting for circumstances to change, but from taking charge of your own life through deliberate action. When you create your own opportunities, step into a space where you no longer rely on chance or external conditions to define your path. Life often presents obstacles, and waiting for someone or something else to clear the way can leave you stagnant. But when you take control, you shift from being a passenger in your life to being the driver, steering yourself toward the future you envision. True empowerment is rooted in the understanding that your choices, your effort, and your vision determine your destiny, not luck, not timing, and not the approval of others. The act of creating opportunity is transformative. It requires recognizing that every challenge can be turned into a stepping stone, that every limitation can be approached with creativity, and that every moment holds potential if you choose to see it. When you empower yourself, you stop waiting for the perfect conditions to act, and instead you work with what you have, where you are. This mindset allows you to adapt, innovate, and take ownership of your life. It is the foundation of resilience because when you depend on yourself, you are not shaken by circumstances beyond your control. Become capable of navigating uncertainty with confidence because you know that your action creates possibilities. Empowerment also comes from believing in your own capacity to make a difference. Waiting for the world to hand you an opening can feel safe, but it diminishes your ability to recognize your own potential. Every time you take initiative, no matter how small, reinforce your self-belief and strengthen your capacity to handle bigger challenges. Opportunities do not always appear fully formed. They often need to be built, pursued, and shaped through persistence and courage. By taking charge, you learn to identify gaps where possibilities exist, to make connections where others see none, and to push beyond limitations that seem insurmountable. You create a cycle of action, learning, growth that multiplies your power and influence. The beauty of creating your own opportunities is that it instills a sense of purpose and ownership. Instead of feeling like life is happening to you, you begin to feel like life is happening through you. Every decision you make, every step you take, and every risk you embrace becomes a building block for your future. Empowerment is not about controlling every aspect of life. It is about trusting in your ability to respond, to act, and to shape the reality around you. When you harness this power, transform fear into courage, hesitation into momentum, and dreams into achievable goals. In the end, empowerment is an inside job. It begins with the choice to act, the commitment to persist, and the belief that your vision matters. When you create your own opportunities, step into a life of agency and purpose, where the world responds to your action rather than your waiting. The path forward is not defined by circumstances. It is defined by your courage to take the first step, the next step, and every step after that. And doubt are natural companions on any journey toward growth and success. They creep in quietly, whispering that you are not ready, that you might fail, or that others are better suited to take the next step. But here's the truth: fear and doubt are not signals to stop. They are signals to move forward with courage. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has faced fear and uncertainty. The difference is not the absence of these feelings, but the choice to act despite them. When you step forward in spite of doubt, not only challenge the limitations placed by circumstance, but you also challenge the limitations you place on yourself. This is where true growth begins, at the intersection of fear and action. Doubt can be paralyzing if we let it control our decisions. It makes us overanalyze, postpone, and hesitate, convincing us that waiting will somehow make us stronger or more prepared. But in reality, preparation comes through doing, not by waiting. Every action you take, even if imperfect, teaches you lessons that waiting never will. Each attempt builds confidence, sharpens skills, and brings clarity. Fear is a natural reaction to stepping out of comfort zones, but comfort zones are where dreams go to die. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is taking action in its presence. The more you practice stepping forward despite fear, the more you discover that fear loses its grip and your potential expands. Handling doubt is also about shifting your perspective. Instead of seeing fear as a signal to stop, see it as a signal that you are moving in the right direction, that you are pushing boundaries, and that you are growing. Every successful journey is filled with moments of uncertainty, yet those who persist turn those moments into milestones. Doubt is not your enemy. It can be a guide, revealing the areas where courage is needed most. The key is not to wait until doubt disappears, because it never truly will. Is to act anyway, to trust your abilities, and to move forward knowing that progress happens through action, not hesitation. Overcoming fear and doubt also requires self-belief. You must remind yourself of your strengths, your past successes, and the resilience you have already shown in life. Every challenge you've faced and overcome has prepared you for the next step. Courage is cultivated, strengthened, and reinforced each time you act despite hesitation. It becomes a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it grows. The journey is never free of fear, but fear becomes less of a barrier and more of a companion, reminding you that you are alive, growing, and pushing towards something meaningful. Ultimately, handling fear and doubt is about embracing action as your ally. When you act despite uncertainty, reclaim control over your life. You prove to yourself that you are capable, that your dreams are worth the discomfort, and that your potential is far greater than your hesitation. Every step taken in the presence of fear transforms doubt into confidence, uncertainty into clarity, and dreams into reality. Persistence is the bridge between dreams and reality. It is not enough to have a vision, a goal, or even a burning desire to succeed. Without consistent effort, even the most brilliant dreams remain just that, dreams. Every step you take, no matter how small, adds momentum. And momentum is what turns intention into action and action into results. Persistence is about showing up day after day, even when progress seems invisible, when setbacks occur, and when the world seems indifferent to your efforts. Is about refusing to quit when the first, second, or 10th attempt doesn't produce the outcome you hoped for. It is about understanding that success is a cumulative process, built incrementally through repeated effort over time. Many people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They look at the success of others and assume it came overnight, not realizing the countless hours of persistence behind the scenes. The truth is, it is rarely the big leaps that make the difference. It is the steady, determined steps that compound over time. Every day that you dedicate to your goal, every choice to persist instead of give up, strengthens your resilience and moves you closer to your vision. Persistence turns obstacles into lessons, failures into feedback, and challenges into opportunities for growth. Persistence also teaches patience and focus. In a world that glorifies instant results, it is easy to become discouraged when success doesn't happen immediately. But the people who achieve extraordinary things understand that results are rarely instant. They understand that every setback is temporary and that every delay is an opportunity to learn, refine, and prepare for the next move. By staying consistent, you allow your efforts to accumulate, and over time, the seemingly small actions you take today create the foundation for breakthroughs tomorrow. Another crucial aspect of persistence is its ability to build confidence. Each time you push through difficulty, each time you refuse to give up in the face of doubt, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of more than you imagined. You begin to trust your ability to navigate challenges, to overcome obstacles, and to achieve goals that once felt out of reach. This growing confidence becomes a powerful fuel motivating you to persist, even when the journey is tough, and ensuring that setbacks do not derail your progress. Persistence is not just about effort. It is about intentional effort. It is about taking actions aligned with your goals, learning from mistakes, and adjusting your approach while never losing sight of the destination. It requires discipline, focus, and a steadfast belief in your vision. By embracing persistence, you create momentum, resilience, and ultimately success. In the end, persistence transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes. It turns hesitation into progress, frustration into lessons, dreams into reality. It is the quiet, unwavering force that separates those who merely wish for success from those who achieve it. Every step, every day, counts, and every time you persist, you are building the life you envision. Opportunities are not simply handed to us. They are created through vision, action, and perseverance. Too often, people wait for luck, a fortunate break, or an invitation to step into success. But the reality is that waiting for opportunities is a passive approach, and it rarely leads to fulfillment. True progress comes from taking initiative, seeking out possibilities, and actively shaping circumstances to align with your goals. The world responds to those who act, not to those who wait. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, and every success story is built on the foundation of someone choosing to create their own path rather than waiting for one to appear. Creating opportunities requires imagination and courage. It starts with seeing beyond the immediate, recognizing the potential in situations that others overlook, and believing that your actions can make a difference. When you adopt this mindset, obstacles are no longer barriers. They are invitations to innovate, to find a way where there seems to be none, and to step boldly into the unknown. By actively pursuing what you want rather than waiting for it to come to you, you gain control over your destiny. You stop being a spectator in your own life and become a participant, a creator, and a leader of your journey. This process also demands persistence and resilience. Creating opportunities is rarely easy. It involves taking risks, facing rejection, pushing forward even when the path is unclear. Every no you encounter, every failure, and every setback is part of the process. They are not signs to stop. They are lessons that teach you how to refine your approach, strengthen your resolve, and identify new possibilities. By embracing challenges and continuing to act, you increase your chances of turning potential into reality. The more you seek, experiment, and persevere, the more opportunities you uncover for yourself. An important part of creating opportunities is taking ownership of your life. Waiting implies dependence on factors outside of yourself, luck, timing, or approval from others. Creating opportunities means understanding that your actions matter, that your choices shape your future, and that you are responsible for the results you achieve. This sense of ownership is empowering because it reminds you that no matter the circumstances, always have the ability to move forward, to pivot, and to build something meaningful. When you take the initiative to create your own opportunities, you also inspire others. People are drawn to those who act decisively, who see possibilities where others see limits, refuse to let circumstances define their lives. Your courage, creativity, and persistence ripple outward, opening doors not only for yourself but also for those around you. Ultimately, waiting for opportunities is a passive strategy. Creating them is an active, empowering choice. By acting with intention, pursuing your vision, and refusing to rely on chance, transform your dreams into achievable goals. The power to shape your life lies in your hands, and when you commit to creating opportunities, step into a life of possibility, agency, and achievement. The world responds to action, and those who act are the ones who shape their destiny. Owning your power and taking responsibility for your life is the ultimate key to turning dreams into reality. Too often, we look outward for validation, guidance, or approval, believing that someone else holds the key to our success. But the truth is, the ability to shape your life, to create opportunities, and to achieve your goals has always been within you. When you take ownership, you stop blaming circumstances, other people, or timing for your limitations, and you recognize that your actions, decisions, and mindset determine your path. This realization is not just empowering, it is transformative. It allows you to step fully into your potential and embrace the life you were meant to live. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that your choices matter. Every action you take, every risk you embrace, and every decision you make has the power to move you closer to or farther from your goals. This awareness instills a sense of purpose and focus because you understand that your future is not dictated by luck or by the expectations of others. It is shaped by your effort, consistency, and courage. When you embrace this responsibility, you are no longer a passive participant in life. You become a creator, a leader of your own story, and someone capable of turning obstacles into opportunities. Owning your power also requires confidence and self-belief. It means trusting your instincts, embracing your abilities, and refusing to let fear, doubt, or criticism define you. Life will always present challenges, and people will always have opinions, but when you recognize your inner strength and take full responsibility for your actions, external noise loses its power over you. Learn to move forward with clarity, purpose, and determination, knowing that your life is a reflection of the effort you put in and the choices you make. Confidence grows as you take ownership, and the more you act from this empowered mindset, the more opportunities unfold before you. Responsibility also extends to embracing the consequences of your actions, both successes and failures. When you own your decisions, accept the lessons that come with mistakes and use them as stepping stones rather than reasons to give up. Every setback becomes a teacher, every challenge becomes a chance to grow, and every achievement becomes proof of your ability to shape your destiny. Ownership means refusing to wait for life to happen to you. It means making life happen through you. Ultimately, when you fully embrace your power and responsibility, you unlock a life of agency, purpose, and achievement. You realize that the right time to act, the right opportunities, and the right success are all created through your own determination. You no longer wait for circumstances to align. Align yourself with your goals, your vision, and your potential. By owning your power, you step into a life where your dreams are within reach. Actions define the reality you create. This is the life of empowerment, growth, and fulfillment, a life that you build, shape, and lead.